What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today, continuing my Saw review series. Bon Jovi fans, not to worry. 7800 degrees Fahrenheit is coming up next. But today, wanted to get in Saw 4, trying to get all these in before Spiral from the Book of Saw, which is coming out next month, and I can't wait for that one. But as we continue this series, Saw 4, you would think it's going to pick up after Saw 3. Spoilers in these, by the way. These are old films, so if you haven't seen them, spoilers. But at the end of Saw 3, we witnessed the death of John Kramer. Jigsaw dies, and as it turns out, this film, even though you don't really know it till the end, the main storyline part of it anyway, occurs simultaneously, which I thought was absolutely awesome, unexpected, and a really smart way to kind of stretch out this franchise as much as possible, especially given that your main guy, Jigsaw, dies in the third movie. But the main storyline here follows Rigg. He is an officer. He's been in these films before, so he is an established character. And he's got this obsession with saving people, with helping everyone he can. And he is put to the test where he has to save his fellow officers. But to do so, he must do the opposite of his instinct, which is a method that Jigsaw uses a lot in these later films with his test subjects. In fact, he implores them, do the opposite of what your instinct tells you to do, which they never do, and they, pretty much always fail.
Hello, Officer Rigg. You have witnessed your colleagues disappear. Tonight, I give you the opportunity to save everyone. Welcome to your rebirth.
Saw 4 is a film I liked. I will definitely have some negatives, maybe more so than the other three movies, although, none of these movies are perfect. I really enjoy this franchise. I think it's very solid. And if we start with the things that I like, you had the John Kramer autopsy. It was graphic, but it was interesting. They find the micro cassette, which, remember from Saw 3, he had coated it in wax like he was getting ready to swallow it. Little things like that kind of connect the franchise. There's connections all throughout. So the continuity is not totally jacked up like other film franchises that are all over the place. I think even non-Saw fans or people who don't love this series would agree, hey, at least it has the same vibe. It has a lot of connected parts, and it does have a decent continuity, unlike other films. Not to mention him by name, I don't want to, call out any film franchises, Star Wars, Friday the 13th, Halloween. I love these movie franchises I just mentioned, but they're definitely all over the place as far as continuity. But I really enjoyed the flashbacks in this one. Saw 4. These are my favorite parts of the film. When we go back to an earlier John Kramer, even before he went full Jigsaw, and the first trap he ever created, his first test subject, Cecil, who accidentally killed his unborn son or child, and he has a test where he has to push his face into some knives, cut his face all up to get out of a trap that's going to kill him. He gets out. He probably could have just left, but instead he tries to attack John because he's pissed off. So John, causes him to fall into some barbed wire, and he dies there. So, pretty interesting trap there. I actually enjoyed that trap. Might be my favorite of the film. And like I mentioned, the Rigg storyline where, hey, go home, stop trying to save everyone, and everything's going to be fine. He can't do it. He just can't, and he won't. And Jigsaw knew that. But still, he gives you the opportunity. Nobody takes the opportunity because they're going to do what they pretty much are going to do, and he knows that. So, also the first trap was pretty interesting. You had two test subjects. One's got his mouth sewn shut. The other's got his eyes sewn shut. It's cool, but how are they going to communicate? There's no chance. And obviously the guy who can see is going to have a little advantage, which he does, and he kills the other dude out of self-defense. So the trap was kind of cool, but, it's like some of these traps, someone's guaranteed to die. Some of them are designed that someone's going to die. As is the case with Allison, an agent who was in an unescapable trap, who she had to put her hand into this acid and jack her hand up to get the key. She actually did it, and she got herself, supposedly out, but she couldn't get out, and it ripped open her whole rib cage, and she died. So they find her. They figure out, okay, Jigsaw has an accomplice other than Amanda, because no way that that she could have got her up here. Okay, it's no way. So someone else is involved, and this is when things get interesting. The problem is it's not that interesting because it seems pretty obvious who it is. The twists were pretty obvious in this one. Yeah, Rigg is about to, Rigg is going to keep on trying to save Eric Matthews. He's going to kick in that door. Eric Matthews is going to get his head smashed with the ice. Hoffman is going to be the bad guy. Hoffman is definitely evil. He looks evil. He acts evil. Now, if he's not, and Saw, this film is just misleading us, that'll be freaking awesome. Nope. It's Hoffman. Now, the twist that kind of gets revealed slowly at the end, that this is happening at the same time as Saw 3, that twist I love. That got me. I was like, holy shit, that is awesome. That is sick. But as far as the reveal of Hoffman being the accomplice, that was like obvious. He looks evil. He just looks like a bad guy. They have him like glaring. They have like shots of it. It was like way too obvious. It would have been much more like shocking if it was Perez or Strom, which they didn't seem like they would have been accomplices, but that's why it would have been more shocking. Not saying it would have made sense, but I think they just made it too obvious that it was Hoffman. But as for agents Perez and Strom, speaking of them, there are a couple other agents, and there were several moments in this film where involving these characters, like baffling moments, people acting stupider or just completely unnatural, and it just takes you out of the movie. For instance, you had the scene where Jigsaw's creepy puppet is talking to Agent Perez, says, your next move is critical. Tells her that she's in danger. Your next move is critical. And then the puppet's face, I guess, starts to do a little something. What does she do? Let's go. What's it doing? Face real close up in there.
Your partner, Agent Strom, will soon take the life of an innocent man. Heed my warning, Agent Perez. Your next move is critical.
What is that?
She puts her face right up close to the puppet, and then it shoots her full of shrapnel and jacks up her face. Like, your next move is critical, and the first thing you do, like, no, you back up. If your next move is critical. Oh shit, something's about to go down. The face is doing something. Everyone back up. That's obvious. That's normal. This was like, no. And then earlier, just a little earlier than that, you had Agent Perez and Strom. They were in the crime scene. They were checking it out. With a whole bunch of other officers and whatnot. And somebody is like, one of the officers is either dusting or something with like a crossbow. And somehow the crossbow goes off. I don't know if it was, set that way. I think that's kind of implied that Jigsaw or whoever set the trap that way, that it would go. And it goes off and just rips through another officer who happens to be standing there. A female officer's, standing across the room, and she gets just impaled and killed instantly. And the crazy thing is, first of all, yeah, she happened to be standing right there in the line of fire. Like, no, I mean, that's very unlikely, but okay. And also an agent was dumb enough to be dusting in it and it goes off. Okay, we'll give you that. The funniest thing is, agents Perez and Strom just keep talking like nothing happened. They were talking about Saw. They're like, okay, we need to get this case here. We need to find out where such and such is. And if you can just find out where...
Look out! The lair. Where's the lair?
It doesn't exist.
Jigsaw wanted us to find that place. Where's the new game being played? Find that place, we find Rigg.
They continue their conversation like nothing. No, oh my God, oh my goodness, oh my gosh. Let's shift our attention from what we were talking about to our friend here who just got her face impaled. No. Let's just keep discussing this Jigsaw case. It's much more interesting. But yeah, there were some cool traps in this one. There were some that weren't the greatest. You had the guy who was in the bed, he was about to get his whole body ripped apart, and all he had to do was press these two buttons. Yes, it was gonna, gouge his eyes out. He had the guts to press one of them, but not the other. Like, wouldn't you just press them both? You'd be like, la, burn. I mean, it's a lot different than having to like surgically take a key out of your eye. Those are sick. Those are like, oh my God, how are you going to pass that? You have to actually do it yourself. In this case, you just press buttons. Yes, you're about to get your eyes gouged out, which is terrible, but your actions are simply pressing these buttons. I find it hard to believe he wouldn't have passed that test, especially if he had the guts to press one of the buttons. But anyway, at the end of the day, yes, I enjoy Saw 4. There's a few more dumb moments in this film than the prior ones, but it still holds up, in my opinion, overall as a solid entry in the franchise. It looks good. It looks professional. It's enjoyable. It's got some really cool traps, and I love the flashback scenes that show Jigsaw earlier in his life, and those are really fun. I'd say Saw 4 is good, not great. A lot of nonsensical stuff. The twist endings, for the most part, didn't pack enough punch for me, and they were predictable, although I love the fact that parts 3 and 4 happened simultaneously. That's the one part of the twist I really liked. But other than that, yep, it's a fun time, but not great. Not as good as the first 3 in my opinion, but that's it. That's my review for Saw 4. Did enjoy it, and I think this franchise stays pretty damn strong for quite a long time, especially considering they were knocking these out year after year. So I'll definitely be getting more into that later as we continue this review series. So thank you guys so much for joining me. Cannot wait for Spiral coming out next month. You guys have a fantastic day. Give me your thoughts below. We'll talk to you later.